wonderful blessing to have a job you are happy to come back to after vacation.
Amen.
Great to be here. Danny's ready to roll. Rex is ready to roll. Guess who's up early with us today? Schefty is up and ready to go. We are presented by ESPN Bet, and we begin with the showdown amongst the two teams in the NFC North, the Vikings and the Packers. What a fascinating afternoon spot. Pick it up early second quarter. Vikes down 3-0. Dan wide open.
I remember when everyone told me that Sam Darnold stunk at football. I love the design. Justin Jefferson backside safety drops down the touch throw by Sam Darnold for an early touchdown.
Jalen Naylor with the score. Vikes kick 2 field goals. They're up 13-3, and then this was my favorite play of the game.
Fantastic design. You're trying to bait the coverage into the middle of the field, and then you wait 2 seconds, and Addison reels her down the sideline.
So this looks like a blowout, and then Darnold makes the big mistake.
Gosh dang it, Sam. Everyone told me you stunk at football. No, he forces this ball, and a lifeless Green Bay Packer football team finally has some life. Luckily to recover that fumble.
Yeah, Carrington Valentine with the pick. They do fall on it, and that would lead to this short field. In goes Josh Jacobs, and now all of a sudden it's a ball game at 20-10. But Darnold did not blink. They get the ball back. They go right down the field.
I love the design down in the red zone. It's really back versus linebacker, little perimeter slip screen. Bradbury gets out in space, and it's a touchdown, Minnesota.
27-10. Looked over.
Game's over.
But Green Bay got hot. They would score, go for the 2 and get it, so now it's a 9-point game. Now they have a 3rd and 7, and Love would find Romeo Doubs.
And he was the one who really got hot in the fourth quarter. They started to win versus man coverage underneath, 2 deep safeties, cross the middle field. Then they do a nice job of getting to the line of scrimmage, forcing that flag with 12 men on the field, and finding a touchdown to see if they can win this game.
They had the chance. They had the timeouts. They had everything on their side, and they got the Vikings to a 3rd down. So this was your ball game on 3rd and 2.
Roll pass. The backers are walked up near the center. No one covers that back out of the backfield, and an easy conversion for Minnesota.
A great catch by Akers, actually. Darnold, 33 completions, 377 yards, 3 touchdowns. And look at this moment in the post-game locker room. One of the great images of this NFL season. Sam Darnold, a man the league had given up on, all of a sudden being celebrated like that. And the Vikings will play next Sunday night in Detroit for the 1 seed in the NFC, in what can only be described as one of the great and unpredictable stories of this NFL season. They were picked to finish last in that division, particularly after the rookie quarterback goes down. In comes Darnold, has a monster year. And so I will ask Adam Schefter the question everyone is asking: why does Sam Darnold not yet have a contract to continue in Minnesota? Are the Vikings ready to commit to Darnold being their quarterback beyond wherever their playoff run this year ends?
Not today, Greeny, but eventually you would think that they would be. It is hard to watch that video and not think, how can they let this guy walk out the door and go be a free? You can't see him walk in and get the reaction he gets and imagine that they're going to let somebody like that, as well liked, as well respected, as productive as he's been, walk out the door. When you used the draft pick on J.J. McCarthy, you were trying to secure your quarterback future. That's what you were trying to do. It looks like, with the way Sam Darnold has played this year, they've secured their quarterback future. And they have the benefit of having another great rookie quarterback in what has turned out to be a scintillating rookie quarterback class. We saw what Jaden Daniels and Michael Penix did last night. We saw what Bo Nix did over the weekend. We've watched Caleb Williams. We've watched these rookie quarterbacks shine. There's no reason to think that J.J. McCarthy would be any different. That was the track he was on during the summer. But Sam Darnold happened this year, and now he's scheduled to be a free agent. And they haven't talked, but the price is rising every single day. And what would some team be willing to give up to get Sam Darnold? And the Vikings obviously want to wait and see how the season plays out, but we see how it's playing out. They're playing Sunday night for the number 1 seed against the Detroit Lions. Winner wins the NFC North. Winner gets the number 1 seed. Winner gets a bye. There's a lot on the line. And Sam Darnold has played at an elite level this year. And so it's left the Vikings in a situation where I don't know if you say, how are they going to handle it? Because I think we know how they're going to handle it. They have to keep Sam Darnold. But then what do they do about the rest of the quarterback situation?
Have we mentioned he's 27 years old? Darnold feels like he's been around forever, so people probably perceive him to be a lot older than that. He has as long a runway as practically anybody. Rex, any question in your mind, if that's your football team, you're keeping Darnold?
Absolutely. And I've said it for the last 6-7 weeks that, what are you doing? Do you not believe in him? Because my eyes tell me this kid's playing great. And to me, look, you're 14-2. Really? What did you want to accomplish when you went to draft a guy? Doesn't matter. Once you want to get a franchise quarterback, right? Because when you have one, it's hard not to win with a franchise quarterback. And guess what? It's hard to win when you don't have one. Well, you have one right in front of you. All right? It doesn't matter how you got him, but you got him. And you know what? Everybody needs a backup. You got a kid that, you draft in the first round. So what? He's your backup. Fine and dandy, but you better sign this guy. And when that locker room is telling you, what the hell are we doing? Let's sign him. That's why those images are so powerful to me.
I think now the Minnesota Vikings have to try and re-sign Sam Darnold. I did not feel that way a month ago. Watching that post-game interaction, that is rare in the NFL. It's rare to have that type of feeling when a locker room embraces your quarterback that has been cast aside by so many people in so many places over the course of his career. It's difficult to think that you can just move on from that to hope. I think J.J. McCarthy is going to be a really good player. It can still be one of the most ideal settings in the NFL. You can re-sign Sam Darnold and continue to develop J.J. McCarthy, and you become the Green Bay Packers. That's who you become. The Minnesota Vikings become the Packers over the last 40 years.
Well, this is exactly the same scenario that happened with Jared Goff. He was left for dead. Well, guess what?
Same with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, and both those guys played themselves to a new contract.
Correct.
And an elite contract. And so I could see that, Minnesota, good for you. All right? Don't you dare let this guy hit the streets.
Yeah.
There's no way. I mean, they can franchise him, and still that to me, I could see that scenario, and I think it's a mistake. Sign the guy up. He's deserved it.
Quick shout out to our buddy Louis Riddick, who all through the summer, when we kept saying that Caleb Williams is walking into the best situation that any young quarterback could possibly walk into, Louis Riddick kept saying over and over again, the Vikings are the best situation for a young quarterback. Now, the context at that time was going to be J.J. McCarthy, but he kept pointing to Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, and they bring in Aaron Jones and all the rest of it. He kept saying that's the situation, and that's where Darnold found himself. Schefty, go.
Well, listen, one of the great advantages to having a quarterback on a rookie contract, a quarterback who's in that first deal, is that you can use those savings to build the rest of your roster. Well, we've seen now two teams this past spring go get rookie quarterbacks that may not have those savings. The Atlanta Falcons used $90 million on Kirk Cousins, a lot of money that they could have used on other players. The Minnesota Vikings drafted J.J. McCarthy with the idea that he was going to be the quarterback, and now it looks like they're going to have to use some of the money that they're going to save to go re-sign Sam Darnold and keep him in Minnesota. So it's strange how this works sometimes, that one of the greatest advantages to having a rookie quarterback is the benefits he brings you on that contract. And now we might have two teams that have compromised situations, but situations that aren't terrible. Like the Falcons, they know they wasted the money on Kirk Cousins, but they secured the position. The Vikings used a first-round draft pick on J.J. McCarthy. But if and when they sign Sam Darnold, they're going to secure the position. And it's the most important position in sports. It has to be secured at all costs. And even if it means that you squandered some of the benefits, you've still taken care of that spot.
I'm with that. Okay, well, I want to talk about Minnesota more a little bit later. But let me get some Green Bay. Cindy, can we put up 823? Because, Rex, you picked the Packers yesterday on our Sunday NFL Countdown show, and a lot of people have. The Packers, they're a very good team. But look at these losses. I mean, they've got the best quality losses of any team in the NFL. But the facts are the facts. They're 0-5 against the Eagles, Lions, and Vikings this year. 4 of those have been within 5 points. 3 of the 5 within a field goal. Flip those results, the Packers would be the 1 seed, but you don't get to do that in life. So my question is, the Packers, who figure now to go in as the 7 seed in the NFC playoffs, which would put them in Philadelphia a week from Saturday or Sunday, or I guess Monday. What do we think of that?
Well, I wouldn't love it if I was Philly, if that is going to be the matchup, because I think Green Bay can
looks
run
likely.
Yeah,
it looks likely.
I don't love that if I'm not Philly. I still think Philly wins the game. I think the takeaway for Green Bay is You need Jordan Love to not be as much of the roller coaster. You do want more consistency out of Jordan Love. Now, they didn't get into a lot of their 4x1 stuff, and they didn't throw the ball downfield. They really struggled on third down versus a certain coverage. Rex, you know this. They got man coverage underneath. They got 2 safeties deep, and Jordan didn't throw it, 1, as cleanly, but 2, he also didn't take off with his legs ever. And if teams are going to play him that way, if Philadelphia might play him that way, he's going to have to become more of a running threat in those situations. I'm not overreacting. I just think they want him to play cleaner football more consistently.
Yeah, I think it's a horrible matchup for him. And he's going to have 2 losses against the Lions, 2 losses against the Vikings, and get ready to have 2 losses against the Eagles. Look, this guy has elite talent. Jordan Love has elite talent. He's not elite. And the consistency that you talked about keeps him from being elite.
Yeah.
All right? And so to me, he starts this game. And we've seen him struggle.
A couple misses early.
He looks shook to me. And you can't have that. If you're an elite player, you can't have that. You practiced all week. Get out there with confidence and fire, especially in those first 15. You ought to be, like Superman. It takes him a while to get started. Then he becomes Superman.
Yeah.
But he needs to start that way for this team to have any chance moving forward.
It was interesting to watch how Minnesota handled their offense. Like, Minnesota very clearly defensively wanted to go after them on early downs to try and eat up a body in the run game. Green Bay's got a very good run game, and so they did that. And then it was often daring them to throw the football downfield, and they just didn't. They didn't take their shots downfield. I'm not overreacting to this. I really don't think, if you really watch that game, and so the 4th and 2 that they go for it, Jordan misses it. Jordan has to make that throw because Jaden Reed's coming across the middle of the field, and he's going to be open. So you sit there and go, Jordan, his feet were okay, make that throw. And then really right before the half is when that crucial penalty, both by the offense and then by special teams, has massive impact on the game. They have it 3rd and 2. They go for it with about 1:30 left. They get it. Offensive penalty takes that conversion off the board. They don't get it on 3rd down. They punt the ball away. Minnesota goes down the field. They attempt a long field goal. They miss it. Penalty. They get a re-kick.